Happy Wednesday, you guys. Midweek fun coming at you. Short little burner, but a good old time. We're gonna let the beeper guide us today. So it's an on-the-minute fun work set. Before we get to that though, let's talk about our warm-up. This is a really nice piece of work for you guys midway through the week. If you're feeling a little tight, a little sore, take this for a full 2 to 3 rounds. Take your time, move well, and make sure you're waking yourself up really well. So what we have is a plank knee to nose for 10 to 20 alternating reps. Single leg good morning with rotation for 3 to 5 per side. Single leg RDL, empty-handed or loaded for 3 to 5 a side. Dynamic triangle for 3 to 5 a side, and then wide stance good morning for 5 to 10 reps, loaded or unloaded. It's a great opportunity to get those bodies moving, open things up. So use those rounds for what you need for you today and have fun with it. After that, we get to more kind of dynamic work and more similar movements to the work set. We're going to do 3 to 5 kettlebell deadlifts, 5 to 10 kettlebell swings just to get a feel for that kettlebell or dumbbell deadlift, depending what you have at home. You'll then move into some lateral ski jump for 20 seconds or lateral ski jump plus the RDL jump, which we'll talk about and I'll show you again in our warm-up. Ankle pop and our jump squat for 5 to 10. The jump squat is not meant to be fast and aggressive. It's really just about pulling everything in together after some of that single leg stuff. A really good opportunity just to work on pulling that squat together. All right. So 3 to 5 rounds there. Get your heart rate up, find that body, get things going, and then set that on the minute timer for 10 minutes. Minute number 1, you're going to do 60 double unders or cardio equivalent to that. I'll have a little workout description options for you. And then minute number 2, you have 20 kettlebell swings. So with that, you're going to repeat that 5 rounds, which equals out to 10 minutes. All right. Whatever time you have left in either minute, you get to rest. So if you finish your skipping or your double unders, all right, with a little bit of time left over, you can breathe, chill, transition, and then if you finish your kettlebell swings, all right, you can have that time frame. If 20 seems to be too much in terms of reps for you, you can scale that number back and talk anywhere in the realms of 10 to 20, making sure you do have a little bit of transition time and making sure you have a little bit of rest. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just enough to get you into that next minute. So make sure you're good to go there and you're adjusting your reps as you need to throughout this work set. All right? Let's warm you up. Let's have some fun today and let the beeps guide us into a good Wednesday. All right, guys, let's warm you guys up a little bit. Let's get those feet under the hips. Take the arms big and tall. Big stretch, little shrug. We're gonna come back down with those shoulders, reach to the side. We'll come back up, reach to the other side. And we're gonna come back up overhead, little shrug. We'll bring those hands down to those hips. We'll take those hips around nice and slow, steady, working on that full circle, that full range. Good, we'll go the other way. Nice. All right, from there, we'll bring our feet close together, take the arms up overhead, and we're gonna forward fold. So we'll touch those toes, walk up those shins, nice big flat back, we'll come down. Framing a foot, we'll step her back into that lizard. Lowering the back knee, we're gonna press the hip. And we're gonna come back to center and then straighten the front leg. And then plant the foot, press the hip, come back to center, straighten the front leg. And one more time, press the hip, come back to center, and straighten that front leg. From there, straightening out that back leg, we'll step back into our down dog. Reaching back into that nice hip position of the down dog. Set those shoulders, then we'll come back into our plank. Stepping that foot up, nice and square in the hips. We're gonna lower the knee, press the hip, come back to center, and straighten that front leg. Plant the foot, press the hip, center, straighten the front leg. And one more time, press the hip, come back to center, and straighten the front leg. We'll plant that foot, straighten the back leg, step back into your down dog, reaching those hips back or walk. Those heels up just a little bit this time, making sure things feel pretty good. From there, we'll come back to center, nice plank. We'll tiptoe those feet up. And roll ourselves up, big, tall stretch. Clasp those fingers, press way up, reach. Come back through, reach. Good, we'll those hands. Let's get you guys ready to go. So if you'd like to do a little bit more gentle kind of warm up, pause the video, take that down, move around a little bit more hip work if you'd like. We're gonna move in that opening sequence of work and get you guys ready to go. So we start off today with a little plank knee to nose action. So I'm gonna turn to the side so you guys can see from the side. So I'm gonna step myself back into my plank. Shoulders right over my hands, tuck it through those ribs and hips, pressing through the shoulders. And then from here, I'm making sure I'm gripping the floor and staying active through the hands. I'm gonna pull the knee to my nose, and then I'm gonna extend that leg. I'm gonna pull my knee to my nose, and extend that leg. I'm gonna do that back and forth, holding in that compression position, and then holding for a moment in between each rep. Just making sure that I have that nice tight core position, those hips and ribs pulled in, those shoulders nice and active through the upper back, and just giving myself a chance to check in before I move into my next rep. So we're really focusing on time under tension in that plank, and that's why we have a pretty nice range of reps there, 10 to 20. So anything that allows you to kind of work on that challenging rep scheme, but still allowing you to maintain that tight plank position. From there, we're gonna stand up. We're gonna stretch our core out. All right, next movement on the list we got is a nice chance to work on some rotations and hamstring work. So we're gonna get our feet about our hip width apart so we have some good balance. I take my left heel and place it kind of in line with my hips, but just in front of my big toe. And I'll turn to the side so you can see. So I'm gonna stand nice and tall, squeeze my glutes, I'm gonna pull back, keeping my knees apart, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then I'm gonna rotate, and then I'm gonna come back up. And then from there, I'm just gonna stay on this side so you guys can see. What I mean by the knees is I squeeze my glutes, and as I pull back, we wanna make sure they stay apart and not creep in towards each other. So we wanna make sure that we're going straight back, keeping that knee position strong. And as we rotate, we're just rotating with the upper body, and we're not shifting with the legs at all, okay? So I'm gonna do 2 reps on the other side, but I'm gonna turn the other way so you guys can see it from the side. So my feet are hip width, heel in front of the big toe, standing tall. I squeeze my glutes, I pull back, rotate towards that lead leg, and stand tall. I reset the glutes, pull back, rotate, and then stand tall. And then I step my foot down, and I continue. So you can do that alternating. You can do that 3 to 5 on one side, 3 to 5 on the other side. You can do whatever you need to do to make and set yourself up the best for success on that one, because balance is an issue there sometimes. After that, we're going to continue to work on the balance with that single leg RDL. So again, I'm going to turn to the side so you guys can see this. I'm going to shift my weight first. First off, no load. I'm going to hold my hands to the front like I'm holding a dumbbell. And then I'm going to pull my hips back, letting that leg lift with everything together. And then I'm going to come to my knee, and then I'm going to stand tall. I'm going to reset, squeeze, pull my hip back like I'm deadlifting. Take my hand to the dumbbell to my knee, and stand tall. Okay? I'll do 5 per side, and then I'll switch my stance, switch my foot, square it up, and then pull back. The key here is that act of the hinge. So I'm trying to keep my chest up and keep on that 45-degree angle. Okay? From there, if you'd like to load this, you can choose to load the dumbbell in the front, holding it by the bell. So I shift my weight, I get my stance, I pull the hip back, my chest stays up, dumbbell hits the knee, I come back up. Okay? The other way I can do this, hand is holding the dumbbell, same leg as the hand, and that's the leg that lifts. So I pull back, dumbbell comes to the knee, and then I come tall. Or the same leg that's balancing holds the dumbbell. Again, I have to really fight to stay square on this one, so that as I pull back, I'm not pulled to the side of the dumbbell. Okay? So I want to make sure that I'm focusing on that square body and that balance. So any way you want to hold that dumbbell for you, I'm fine with. We just want to make sure that it's going to set you up so you have the best balance you can. All right? Neither is better nor worse, but they just challenge the body just a slightly different way. All right? So try them out, see how you're going. Hands to the front with the bell is probably the easiest in terms of balance. So So it's a great place to start, okay? So nice set there, working through that single leg RDL. After that, we come into our sumo stance. I'm gonna turn one toe to the side, one toe on the angle, hand comes to the thigh, hand comes up to the sky, and I'm gonna pull my hips back. And that's gonna tip my body, and I allow myself to continue tracing the shin down to the foot. And then I stand nice and slow with my arm pointing to the sky the entire time. I pull back, and then I come back up. Nice and slow, nice and steady. So I pull the hip back and stand. Good. Then when I change directions, I bring my feet through. I can give myself a little high five. Toe turns, but we have to check my stance to make sure that I haven't narrowed my stance up and that I'm still at a decent width, so roughly sumo stance. So then again, I set, I pull back, making sure I listen to my body, only taking as deep as I can maintain position, and then I slowly squeeze and come back up. So play with that, have some fun with that, take your time. You never know, the first couple reps might be a little stiff, and then as you start doing it more, you might find that you explore and find more range. So explore that range, see where it takes you, and move slowly. After that, we bring everything together. So you can go a little wider if you like into more wide stance. I squeeze my glutes, I'm gonna pull my hips back, nice forward fold, in that nice wide stance, good morning, and I stand tall. The big glute squeeze at the top, pull back towards the back wall, and then I come back and tall. Okay, so I'm gonna turn to the side so you can see a couple reps here. So the biggest thing here is that me pulling my hips back is what tips my body forward. So my body, my upper torso, doesn't change. The only reason it's starting to tip is because my hips are being displaced and my body comes forward to kind of counterbalance. My weight is still through my midfoot, my foot is flat, and then I stand up nice and tall. All right, so take your time with that one. If you'd like to use a broomstick or a PVC pipe up the spine just to make sure we're keeping our back straight, please do so. All right, but take your time with that one. Really feel those hamstrings, and don't forget to squeeze your glutes at the top of every rep. All right. Quick little recap. We have a plank knee to nose for 10 to 20 alternating reps. Single leg, good morning, with the rotation for 3 to 5 per side. Single leg RDL, we'll look at 3 to 5 per side as well. Empty hand all the way to load. Dynamic triangle, 3 to 5 per side, loaded if you'd like as well, and wide stance, good morning, for 5 to 10. 2 to 3 rounds. Use that again, you guys, to open up the body. It's a great little work set to open up the hips, the upper body, especially after the week we've had so far, okay? Our next phase, I should say, pause the video, take that down first, get yourself going, and then come back to me, because our next phase involves a little bit more dynamic work and a little bit more movement along the lines of our work set. So with the kettlebell deadlift, all right, or the dumbbell deadlift, what we can do is we can actually treat this dumbbell, since I have the dumbbell today, we can set it up on its end kind of like a goblet, and we can use this kind of like a kettlebell swing. So I pull my hips back and down into my sumo position, I take hold of the bell, and then I stand tall. All right, and then I take it back and down all the way to the floor, and then I touch, and I get tight, and I stand tall. If you'd like to as well, you can still do the single hand, all right, working with that single hand dumbbell. You can work on 3 to 5 per side. If you'd like, the kind of standard dumbbell deadlift, just making sure we do both sides with that dumbbell. But if you'd like to hold it by the bell, you're more than welcome to. So 3 to 5, then we're gonna move into the swing. So we have multiple ways to swing the dumbbell. All right, kettlebell straightforward if you have the kettlebell. Rock that kettlebell swing, have fun with it. But with the dumbbell, we can get a little creative with it and have some fun with this thing. So we can hold it by the belt, just like I showed you with the deadlift. The kettlebell swing movement is the same. It's exactly the same. I find that good hip position. Everything is guided through the hips. And I want to make sure that I keep that good back position the whole time. All right? So as I'm doing this swing, I want to make sure that my back is in that good strike back deadlift position, not rounding as I do my swings, because that's not going to be very efficient, and it's not going to feel very good later on after the work set's done. okay? So we have that way to hold the bell. We can do kind of a golfer's kind of handle, so 2 hands on the handle, feet about our squat stance, and then we work that good position, taking this high or not as possible, depending on where you're comfortable. But again, the motion is the same. So we use those hips to get that dumbbell or kettlebell moving, and then we make sure the momentum is killed out before we stop. And the last one with the dumbbell is that single arm dumbbell swing. So I hold it, a single hand, I stay square, and I use that nice swing action to take that dumbbell as high or as not high as I need to for me today to see where I control it. If I'm going to do the single arm, you'll do 10 on one side, 10 on the other side, or half and half of whatever the rep scheme you decide to play with is. Okay? So lots of different ways to hold the dumbbell. With the kettlebell, pretty standard. Hold 2 hands on the handle for control, but have fun with it, play around. All right? It's a good time. It's going to get that heart rate up, but make sure the legs are doing the work. It's all in that hip extension. Just like you were going to jump, that's how you're going to get that dumbbell or kettlebell moving, but keep those feet on the floor. After that, we have our lateral ski jump. So I'm going to pick over to one side. So a couple options for this. We have our classic lateral ski jump, side to side. For our non-jumpers, we have a step, working that big step in balance, all right? And we also have that plus RDL jump. So what you can work on is a little bit of rebound. So we load, we jump, whoop, we load, whoop. You can work on that rebound, and you can kind of play with it and have fun with that a little bit if you'd like. So add that in if you're comfortable. If you're like, Dave, calm down. The lateral ski jump is enough. Then just do the lateral ski jump. Focus on that primarily, but if you want to add in that RDL jump, please do so. All right? You're working for 20 seconds, total count. Reps are not important. I want you to work on controlling the lateral energy, so working on the balance and working on that nice smooth flow, using the body's momentum to get you moving. All right? From there, we do a little bit more hopping. We do a little bit of jumping, so we're going to work on that ankle pop. So feet are under the hips or together, shoulders are relaxed, my core is engaged, my glutes are tight, and my hands just sort of hang like I'm holding onto a skipping rope. And I'm just going to hop, allowing my ankles to be relaxed and allowing my ankles and feet to do what they do naturally, like little springs. All right? So you can play around with that as the workout progresses or the warm-up progresses. If you'd like to flip into some skipping there, all right, add in some skipping instead of ankle pops for about 10 to 20 seconds just to get that feel of the rope in there as well. But these ankle pops are a great way to warm up. They're also a nice way to work on double under time. So if you'd like to work on that, we start off with a nice smooth hop, and then every 5, add in a little power jump. And on that power jump, when I take off with my feet, so as soon as I take off for my jump, I'm just going to make a little fist, a little flick and a little fist to symbolize that fast wrist flick for my double under. So it can teach you the timing of when you jump to when you spin those wrists. After that, we're going to get those legs pulled together with that good jump squat. And from here again, don't have to worry about going too crazy with this. We take it down smooth, we drive, and then we pull down. Drive, and pull down. So we don't have to go super high. We're just looking at opening up the hips and knees, and then pulling and working our deceleration for control. From there, if you're not a jumper, you can work on that nice open close. So I get that fast open and deceleration without leaving the ground. Your heels might come off, that's fine, but we get that nice acceleration. Or you just work on a good air squat, stand quick. Air squat, stand quick. With no leaving of the ground at all, just a faster acceleration so you can work on good, solid squat mechanics. Right? Quick recap. we have our dumbbell or kettlebell deadlift, 3 to 5. Kettlebell swing, 5 to 10. Lateral ski jump for 20 seconds. If you want to add that RDL jump in at the end of them, you can. Ankle pop for 10, subbing that in for skipping as well. If you want to skip and you have a skipping rope, sub in the skip for the ankle pop later in the work set. And then jump squats for 5 to 10, 3 to 5 rounds. Take that through, get yourself fired up, heart rate up, ready for action, and then set that clock for your on the minute. So pause the video, take it down, come back to me. We're gonna go over the work set and have some fun today. So the work set consists of 10 minutes, which is 5 rounds of work. Minute number 1, you're gonna do some double unders. So you're gonna skip some doubles or some singles, or what you can work on is a little lateral hopping. If you're using a dumbbell or a kettlebell, you can put the kettlebell on its side because they're a little high. The dumbbell on its side, you can work on some lateral hops, some lateral skips, or some quick steps. All right. You can also work on some ankle pops, power jumps, working on timing, and I'll also have a few other options on there as well. All right. Another fan favorite for that is instead of reps, you can work on 30 seconds of in-outs or in-out steps. So you can work on your footwork and have some fun with that. Just to jack up your heart rate a little bit for about 30 seconds, and then you have some time to rest, recover, and chill. Whatever time you have left over in the minute, rest, enjoy, and then get set for minute number 2, which is anywhere from 10 to 20 kettlebell swings. Remembering that with our kettlebell, we talked about the points of performance, all right? We want to keep that back nice and flat, just like a deadlift. Weight through the midfoot. And we want to make sure that the legs are doing all the work and the hips doing the work to get the kettlebell moving, not the arms, okay? You can swing the kettlebell, the dumbbell, multiple ways. All right, again with the dumbbell, we can hold it by the bell. So we can hold it by the bell, nice and smooth. We can hold it by the handle, with 2 hands on the handle. And we can also do a single arm swing. So if we're doing the single, we just split the reps up, half and half, between the sides. And then from there, we rest once we've done our reps, and get ready to do our skips again, or whatever we're subbing in for our skipping. So it's a nice steady state kind of flow with this one. Heart rate's gonna be pretty high, but use your little rests and transitions as a chance to breathe, recover, and allow yourself to bring that heart rate down just a little bit, okay? Cool work set, we'll have some fun, it's quick, so take your time with the warm up slow, make sure things feel really good, and then attack that work set, you guys. Have fun with it. 10 minutes of pure cardio bliss. Enjoy, have fun. Let me know how it goes. I'm interested to hear about that, you guys, and enjoy your Wednesday, everyone. I'll talk to you so soon, so excited, all right? But have a great day.